Well, that should have kept playing. That's an awkward cut. We'll just get that back up momentarily. Hello, everybody, and welcome to a shockingly sunny day. It is not insanely humid all of a sudden here. Welcome to the Racing Light Network. Welcome to the iRacing service. Welcome to the Advanced Mazda MX-5 Cup Series. 30 minutes are in store here this week. This is going to be the full layout too, so there's going to be quite a... I did do one of the races just yesterday actually, and it's going to be we might see some fuel saving depending on what the strategy some of these drivers choose, but more accurately, we're going to be seeing definitely a lot of use with the slipstream down the main straightaways here. Very surprisingly, I shouldn't say only, very surprisingly, the most that we've had so far this season, a 26-car field for this week, and I am so glad to be able to bring it to you here on the, what is basically in sim, a very wonderfully sunny day. So let's see if we can go ahead and sit on board with a driver here and take a look around the track the old-fashioned way, essentially, with just riding on board with, let's see, who can we go for here? That is the question. I think this week we'll go with Adam Robinson. I'm telling you, I forgot something a little bit crucial. But I will get that momentarily. Drivers are currently qualifying right now. Nobody has set a time yet, if that says anything. And in fact, while we still have the time to do so, I'm going to do this really quickly. Take away the image and adjust the sound, because somehow, some way, of all the things that I set up, that wasn't one of them. But luckily, it's only about 5 decibels. Now we will bring your image back, and just in time too, considering that this is just the last corner. So, riding on board Adam Robinson, seeing where he will place. But to be one of the first drivers. It is 19 degrees Celsius here in sim. Southwest winds of about 20 miles per hour, 32 kilometers per hour. So take a ride on board Adam Robinson. So that was turns 1 and I think turn 2. This is a very unique circuit, and I genuinely, it is a challenge at some points when it comes to driving here. It's a lot of fun though. Sometimes I dread it because, well, the fastest lap time is 2 minutes and 7 seconds. 2 minutes 7.591 more specifically. But it is absolutely a lot of fun, especially going all the way through here. This entire section, it is possible, depending on the wind direction, that you could get a run up through the S's here. So there's just passing opportunities everywhere throughout this circuit. It's just wide open. Nothing around you are, well, grass and the curbs. If anyone's crossing the line now, double checking, let's see, everyone has crossed the line. This will be pretty much everyone's last attempt at putting in some sort of a qualifying time. Through the final corner Robinson goes. It is also possible that here the car can step out, depending on the elevation transition and all that. So we'll see how things go as Robinson will cross the start-finish line. There he goes. Take a look at a couple other drivers. Robinson That last lap time was only a difference of just over a tenth. So he was not able to better his lap time. Specifically, we're going to be, I think we'll technically speed through the starting grid here. And in fact, if we do this, I'll just put up the tower on the screen, because that'll be way easier than having to read through all 26 names in the span of 2 minutes. So we'll just put everyone's name up here for the time being. 36 seconds left in qualifying. Take a look at the number 15. That is Jerome Bajulaz. I believe that's how that's pronounced. Let's bring up the lower third. Might be Bajulaz. See Andre Fernandez just finishing up his lap time. A 208.401 puts him up to 9th place. And then finally, Etem Yulisoy crosses the start finish line. That's a really good, even though it's just iRacing based, that's still a very good look. I don't know if he crossed the line in time. He did, barely. So I'll make this easy. The entire thing cycles. That's new. Uh-oh. I don't think that should be happening. There we go. There's your entire starting grid. Have fun. I'm not going to read through all of that. You will point out a couple names. Ian Joyner, 3rd place. Adam Robinson in 4th place. It looks like most, if not all the names, at least for this split, or at least for this week, are definitely new. We have 4 splits today, shockingly enough. Genuinely quite surprisingly, there are 4 splits. Now, the driver starting in 26th place position is going to be Jean-Francois St. Pierre. It might be Francois. I hope that's pronounced Francois. Number 26. But we actually might need to cycle everything through for this week, for once. We'll sit here and wait for the lights to go up and wait for Resident Flagman Barney to wave that green flag as we sit here. Sometimes it's better just look at the grid, rather than trying to read through everything in the span of basically 2 minutes. So hopefully everyone understands that, and also I would more than likely, considering all the new names, and I'm going in blind to all this, will definitely struggle in terms of pronunciation, especially on the fly. But by the end of the race we will get there. Only 3 cars left to grid now. And make that 2 left. Some might start in pit road. Looks like some have opted to start in pit road as lights turn red. And they go green as we go racing here at Virginia. Look at just the span of cars everywhere. A few drivers off in the back, but do they keep going the same direction? They do. Driver that fell back a bunch of positions, I believe, was 26. The trees are in the way. Someone please move them. As everyone goes side by side throughout the opening corners. I think we'll just stick with this view because this is going to be the best thing that we have going through. It's going to be absolutely wild as we take a look through the back. A few drivers are not off. They'll lose position. Number 9 is also losing position off the track. Might be having a few connection issues, but everyone going through. Does everyone make it through is the key question. So far, that looks to be the case, as everyone has, for the most part, sorted themselves out as we go through the long back straightaway. This is going to be a massive opportunity to gain any and all positions if it's possible. Jack Veazey, leads the field down into the last section of the course. Eisen Bernal sitting in second place, deciding to not go for the lead just yet, but gets right up on the back bumper. New positions switching in the back. Battle for 15th, Jacobo Paz. That's a returning name. I recognize that one. That is for sure. Well, it sounds like a few drivers are off, and they are. 2 of them are off. That is Antonio. And number 12 of Matteo Pinot. Looks like we actually do have time. We'll hold off for a second. The 18 car is way off the track. Wow. Well, I think we might actually have some time to take a look at the replay. Does it work this week? It does. It's number 10, number 12. They just make contact going into the last section. Oh, just got loose and some additional contact. And what happened with the number 18? Oh, wow. That is the number 21 car. I think that was number 21 car. That was not the number 21. That was number 20 car. But Pablo Garcia Castro will run this back one more time. They're side by side through here. So let's see. Clean pass, clean pass. Stayed side by side, a little bit of a drift, but that is the case. Everyone has still held position, luckily. So the 18 car, these guys were running 7th just about. And is it just clearing himself, trying to squeeze him off? Yeah, it's just misjudgment. That does happen sometimes. That's very unfortunate for the 18. Well, let's hope that he can get a top 10 later on. It is possible to work up to that position as the number 7 car is off. That is Fraser Wilshaw. What happened to get him all the way off track here? Is there contact? Nope, just again lost grip. I did say, depending on the portion of track, it is possible to lose grip here. You can see barely, probably, depending on what you're watching on. You can see the grass flicking up because of him trying to get going as soon as possible. By the way, here's the entire battle for the lead. This is the top 5. 6th place is Andre Fernandez. There he is, a little pass in the back almost. This is basically the rest of the top 10, give or take 1 or 2 cars. The positions are switching. James Montgomery is in pit road. What in the absolute heck has happened to the 24 car in the last... He's been singing pit road for the last 3.5 minutes. What has happened there? Oh my goodness. I'm trying to find that. Oh boy, that's going to be a... Oh, that's off for Eisen Bernal, actually. It's going to be a course cut penalty as well. That's for sure going to be a slowdown. I was looking at back of the session events basically to see what happened. See if we can find things that happened with the number 24. And then I just see Eisen Bernal off the track. Is he going to have to slow down more is what I'm wondering. He did give all positions... He did drop back positions. He's going to have to be... It is possible to be strategic, essentially. So we have a battle for 8th place going through Rodrigo Sergio, I believe, and then Flo Dams. Rodrigo Sergio getting by for the 8th place spot, but that battle is not quite done just yet. Let's see if we can take a look to see what happened with the 24, who has since retired, St. Orens. Ball drafting down the straightaway is a very bold decision. So they go uphill. Stay single file for the moment. Not seeing anything with number 24, so we might have to go back through the old-fashioned way. I might actually have to go back through the old-fashioned way for number 24, who's no longer sitting in the car, but still maybe in the session. So, bear with me for a moment. We're going to see if I can we can rewind quite a bunch and see what happened with the 24. So here he's on track. We have to do this the old-fashioned way. Apologies about all of this, but I am quite curious as to what happened. It didn't show up on our session events. Why did the 23 go through the old section there? That's quite strange. In fact, I think I went so far back that this is qualifying, so we'll see if we can get that a little bit later on. Side-by-side battle for the 10th place position. Banjules trying to get into the top 10. Both started 18th, 17th and 18th respectively. Now they're running 10th and 11th, so they are, in a sense, well, I was about to say working together. That defensive line says a little bit otherwise. All right, just like that, almost 10 minutes have elapsed. The laps, technically, they go by pretty quickly here, solely because of how long this track is. And it doesn't feel like it's a long track either. Back up front, Jack Veazey, Ian Joyner, Adam Robinson, Eisen Bernal, Jesse Lane, and Andre Fernandez. Your whole top six just sitting all within 1.4 seconds of each other. Well, see, I did notice a comment before on last week's race that Adam wants to try and prove me correct. No pressure, I believe he said basically something to the effect of no pressure. I'll see if I can get that win. So let's hope that's the case. He is in prime contention for that. He just has to beat 6 other drivers at doing the exact same thing that he wants to do. So we'll see if that's possible. Joyner could also just snipe the win away once again. So it's always possible. We could just have a new winner as well once again for the first time since Bathurst, I believe, as they are nearly 3 wide for 8th place effectively. I think they are 3 wide for 8th place. What are they doing? They are 3 wide. Somehow they all managed to single file themselves out. So move Pablo Garcia Castro up to the 7th place position. 8th place Rodrigo Sergio, and 9th place is Ben Myling. So all these guys are in a land of their own. We'll try and catch all the battles we can, but this is A, wide track, a very large track, and B, everything happens all at once at the exact same time. So what you heard there was the first group going through. Let's take a ride on board Flo Dames. Flo Dams, not Dames, Flo Dams. The H might be silent. It might be Doms, actually. We're gonna go with Doms. Pretty sure it's Flo Doms. Well, of course, when I go on board here, there's a pass for 5th place. And they're still on the back straightaway. This is how long this back straightaway is. There's this first group. There's the second group as they nearly go 3 wide. They thought about it for a second. Castro goes wide, holds on to it. Here comes a 21, shoulder checking the 13 off the track, and he's going to spin out of the corner. Move Sergio down the order. Oh, dear. Ben Mylink with what was effectively a really well-placed move, but we'll have to see from an above angle, the only reliable angle, really, to see what happened there. Let's take a look from above. Second and third car in line in this case. A little bit of a bump draft. Thinks about going 3 wide, decides against it, backs out. And both of those cars go wide. Myling, I think it might have been understeer, and then the grass from the 13 and trying to get back onto the power just didn't help much. That is genuinely really unfortunate. Let's listen. Yeah, it's just the traction there. It just doesn't help much. So not too much throttle like I was initially assuming. It's the fact that that happens. That's just an unfortunate racing incident, I would feel like. But I'm not a steward. There's a reason I'm in the booth. It would be fun to do race control stuff, but that would be one heck of a task. In the meantime, throughout all of this, while we have the chance, let's go through the entire field. Here's your entire top 6. Jack Veazey currently sits in the first place position. He hasn't really gone, in a good way, he hasn't really gone anywhere. Eisen Bernal has other ideas. They're going to be battling for first place, and they'll stick with this. Down the straightaway they go. Doing this on the last lap is going to be absolutely crucial timing to try and figure out when to do so. As Eisen Bernal goes off the track, can he hold on to it and stay straight? He does. Well, second place now, Ian Joyner. Started third, he's running second. He has Adam Robinson running behind him for the time being. That's subject to change in about, give it half a lap, if not a quarter of the track. Andre Fernandez sits in 4th place. Jesse Lane sits 5th. Sitting 6th now is Eisen Bernal. The next group we have is Pablo Garcia Castro. He's in the land of his own, actually. Now he's broken away. He is a few tenths faster than this group behind with Flo Dams. He was currently battling with Jerome Bajulas for the 9th place position, with Ben Meilink sitting in at the end of the top 10 positions. Merkin Osby, new to the top split at least for this particular week and this particular time slot, he sits in 11th place. Brett Jacobson did not qualify. Actually, no, that's a lie. He did qualify, but I don't believe he set a time that was representative of effectively his race pace. It seems to be going pretty well for now. Meanwhile, just behind him for 13th, Jamie Parks, Etam Ulisoy, and Dan Bishop, all sitting 13th through 15th. That is also subject to change in give it the back straightaway. Rodrigo Sergio was sitting about in the top 10 and basically just had a racing incident. Actually, no, I believe. Might be confusing my travels already here, but just misjudged a portion of the track and just had himself turn. I feel like I'm talking about the wrong driver here. We'll see. We'll see. A lot has happened throughout the past 15 minutes. Mateo, it's pronounced Mateo, but I could be wrong. It might be Mateo. Mateo Pinot sits in 17th place. Eric Shuloff sits in the 18th place position. Jacobo Paz sits in 19th. Fraser Wilshaw is in 20th. Jean-Francois St. Pierre sits in 21st with Miguel, whose name I am reading and trying to pronounce in my brain, but I'm not able to. I believe that's going to be Castaneda Pinador. Castaneda. He sits in the 22nd position. I had to think about that for a moment. Antonio Emazuka sits in the 23rd position, and then the drivers that are out of this race: James Montgomery, Simone Bonchi, and Harvey St. Orens. Evan Harvey. One of these days, I will get pronunciations correctly. I'm still trying to contemplate English, so I can't even say English half the time. So mispronunciations will definitely happen at some point or another. But I didn't see James Montgomery go off, but we'll catch up with their race-ending incidents a little bit after this race. I'm not seeing Montgomery's name come up either, which is quite strange. Let's see if I can search by the names. Go from there. But regardless, the lead pack makes their way down the main straightaway. Every time we come to this pack, I feel like I see Jack Veazey sitting in the first place position. Ian Joyner second. Eisen Bernal has not really moved up too much. We'll see if Joyner does decide to make a move for the lead. He's going to sit behind. And I do not blame him. I think it could be fuel saving to a certain extent. And it is possible, I did this myself unintentionally, it is possible to underfuel by basically a gallon and then save fuel throughout the race just by sitting and laying back throughout. I didn't know that until it was a bit too late, so I had to pit for basically just an extra lap of fuel more than anything. A very whoa, wow, that is Rodrigo oh no. Well, that is Sergio effectively out of this race. What has happened between, is it him and Dan Bishop or Anton Ulisoy? My goodness. I saw the positions flicking back and forth on timing. So I knew they were battling at least, but what has happened here? They go side by side. Oh no. Did he lose traction under braking is what I'm wondering. It's right on board. Down the I should have just clicked the button once. Down the incredibly long straightaway. Let's just listen. So from there, it looks like it was contact. Then this is why we have the benefit of multiple angles. I just need to press the button once, not twice. But we'll see. Was it just a... I could only... So that wasn't it. It was there. That is a racing deal. Definitely. That is definitely just a racing deal. We go through here. Yeah, from this angle, of course, it looks like he's going to be turning into, but that definitely wasn't the case. Do we have a good static camera here? Not necessarily. Yeah, definitely not necessarily. That's for sure. That is quite unfortunate. We'll take one last look at it from here. I think, yeah, just a racing deal. I mean, it obviously definitely was not intentional. That is for sure. That is absolutely heartbreaking. As someone whose first attempt at running the Advanced Master Series just yesterday ended with a lap 1 crash because someone had bounced off the tire walls in the opening corners and back onto the track, and I couldn't go anywhere, and I just nailed the car. I can definitely attest that, yeah, just being caught up in an incident, it's absolutely heartbreaking. So I feel for some of these drivers whenever they DNF, that is for sure. Taking a look at the battle for the lead, so go through the opening corners once again. They're getting more and more. I don't think antsy is the correct word, but they're getting more, not daring either. They just want to get going, basically. They're kind of showing their hand a little bit, saying, "Hey, don't forget, we're still here." Battle for the 10th place position, by the looks of it. Flo Dams and Osby, as they sort themselves out through the opening corners. Here comes the number 8 of Jacobson to the left-hand side. Let's move up to 11th. No, not enough grip. And in fact, I think a little bit of front-end damage. Does he have a little bit of front-end damage? It looks... Yeah, the Mazda's a little bit crooked, actually. If you take a look at it, well... No, I'm not crazy. Yeah, that's definitely a little bit bent, actually. That should be smooth. You see where the Mazda logo is, the main Mazda text. Yeah, that's more wavy than it should be. So a little bit of damage on the front end of Brett Jacobson. If we're still able to continue on. Well, the top 6 are still staying in the same positions. This is why, luckily, we have the cool invention of the timing tower, so we can all, for the most part, keep up with where everybody is at some point. Especially with the interval timing, because that is incredibly important. As everyone goes uphill, I love the back straight here at Virginia, just because of not only the up and downhill, but just how long it is, how it conforms to the environment that's in. It's a very unique thing in terms of how it's utilized with this track. It's practically up on 2 wheels there, I think, was Bernal. I did think for a second he was going to drift wide, but luckily he did not. As they cross the start-finish line with 8.5 minutes left. He might need that camera later. Let's check back in with the next group. 7th through, it's probably 11th by the look of it. I think 7th through 12th, actually. As a move to the outside is unsuccessful by Pablo Garcia Castro. Is going to sit right behind and try again, but Ben Meilink might have another idea. Meilink is shut off with that attempt at the apex. It's right on board here for a couple laps. Well, I say a couple laps, but more accurately at this point, it's probably just going to be one lap. That might be better off. So we'll hold off to the start-finish line and right on board with one or two of these groups. You can see a little bit of bum drafting, actually. Yeah, there it is. Ooh, that's daring, especially through this uphill section. Through the S's they go. Especially this turn right here. On board, that's going to be, we're going to have a great view of that on board. Now it's getting cloudy. Oh, dear. If fog somehow sets in, I'm going to have many questions about this. It doesn't look like it would be the case, I'm hoping. Speaking of which, a quick weather update for everyone. Virginia International Raceway, the current in sim weather is a whole 66 degrees air temperature. The track temperature, well, 66 Fahrenheit specifically. The track temperature, also in Fahrenheit, 91 degrees. Wind at 23 miles per hour southwest, 84% humidity. And in Celsius, as contact is made, ooh, good save by Castro, but oh, he locks up. It goes straight, did they have a wheel disconnect? No? I think he just decided to lock it down and sit, but I think he's going to take the toe for some strange reason. He does. I'm not sure if he had a hardware failure there. I'm not exactly sure what happened there. That is quite strange. Oh, wait a minute. We got a couple positions getting shuffled. The entire top three, well, the top two have broken away, actually. We'll get the weather report, I believe, metric in a moment here. 19 Celsius, 19 Celsius air temperature, 32 degrees track temperature, 37-ish kilometers southwest winds. Humidity remains the same. What had happened here between second and third place? What has happened here? That's Ian Joyner on the outside. Oh, Eisenberg-Nall made contact with Adam Robinson. And that shoved Andre Fernandez to the back of this group. So that's what had happened. Let's run this back one more time right on board. I feel like let's run this back one more time. He's downshifting in all of the gears. That's, again, definitely not malicious. I think with, I don't want to say a lapse in judgment, because that would be just assumption more than anything else. I don't want to say lapse in judgment, but definitely one of those moments where you think you have enough braking power and then you realize you don't, and suddenly you're into the car in front of you. That happens. I've had that happen way too many times to myself. I've done that too many times, I should say, more accurately. Well, let's take a ride on board. Where's the second group? Where are they at? They are changing positions a little bit. Now it's 7th. Yep, still 7th through 11th, if not 12th. 7th through 11th. So we're going to ride on board for one lap, because that's the as much time as we have to see what it's like to be around, or to drive around Virginia International Raceway. I would say that, but we have passes for third place. I think we're fine. Let's ride on board with Fernandez here throughout this lap. Well, so much for riding on board, because that is some contact that was made between both Jesse... Actually, no. I saw it literally 2 seconds ago. Where did they go? Where did they disappear to? Well, we'll take a look back. Eisen Bernal and Jesse Lane making contact. That's why. That was just a very, very quick spin by Jesse Lane to get back going, and Eisen did the respectable thing and just laid off, or just backed out and waited for Jesse to get back going. So, are we on the final lap is a good question. By ATVO prediction, no. No, we are not. This is the second to last lap. Despite the fact that, so it's going to be, the timer will expire, I think, just before they hit the line. So this is guaranteed the second to last lap. Ian Joyner, potentially in line for another win. We'll see how things go. He still has a whole 2 laps to go, basically. Adam Robinson is under fire as well for the podium position, last spot on the podium position, with Andre Fernandez sitting in 4th place directly behind him. We'll stick with this, and then we'll catch any other battles, specifically throughout the final lap. We'll see how things go. Ian Joyner can afford to wait. Let's ride on board. Oh, never mind. Alright, just throw that entirely out the window. I thought he was going to wait. I actually thought he was going to wait and wait till the last lap. He's pretty much gone for the lead here, side by side into the final few corners. Great defensive driving by Jack Veazey. Just hangs on to it. Ever so slightly. 2 tires off the track. Oh, contact is made, I think, actually. Veazey goes wide. Can he hold on to it? Ooh, barely. I hope that doesn't count as a slowdown. Is he dropping back? No, he is not. Wait, checkered flag. Oh, this is for the finish, apparently. So side by side, they'll come to the line. I was wrong. And Veazey will get the win. The timer expired. I thought it was going to be 1 more lap. Well, all right then. To the line comes 7th through 11th place drag race for 8th. Or for 7th, rather, and they make it. I could have sworn that genuinely that was going to be the last lap, that we had 2 laps to go. Even ATVO was saying 2 laps to go. I didn't think this session turned to the white flag until the time expired. I have to look back into that at some point. Regardless, the drivers are finishing the race, so Jack Veazey does get the win. That is very strange. I think the timer, it's a little bit more confusing than I thought it was. That was a little bit more straightforward. Well, I genuinely was not expecting that. Okay. We'll get the results up on your screen in a second, I guess. That is, very interesting. I see a few drivers are in chat. Hello, everybody. I have not been able to read the chat throughout this entire race because I was paying attention to everything. But maybe one of you could educate me on the timer, because I could have sworn it doesn't trigger a white flag until even in here. Let me double check the session events really quickly, just so I know I'm not crazy. If we go by time, I guess. Nope, that wouldn't be it. I feel like I should also be getting like a white flag trigger at some point. I did not even get a, did I get a white flag trigger? I did not, so that is very strange. Genuinely unexpected. So yes, the race is over, apparently. We will get the results up on your screen in about 2 seconds. Give or take 5 of those seconds. Well, quite interesting. On a very dominant run, I will say that. We'll give that to him. Jack Veazey gets the win over Ian Joyner here. for this week's iteration of the specifically broadcasted split for the Advanced Mazda MX-5 Cup Series. Ian Joyner did try and go through. We'll take a look because Joyner did back off. So I wonder if contact was made and Joyner decided to let the position slide. We will look at that in a moment. Andre Fernandez finishes in 3rd. Adam Robinson finishes 4th. Jesse Lane 5th. Eisen Bernal 6th. Jerome Bajulas 7th. 8th place is Ben Mylink. 9th place is Flo Dams. It's either Flo Dams or Flo Doms. It's one of those two. I know that much. 10th place is Merkin Osby. And that's not the right button. There we go. To the 11th through 20th place position, we have Brett Jacobson, Dan Bishop, Jamie Parks, Epsom Ulisoy, Fraser Wilshaw, Matteo Pino, actually might be the pronunciation there. Jean-Francois St. Pierre finishes 17th, Jacobo Paz 18th, Eric Schuloff 19th, and 20th is Antonio Emazuka. And for the first time in the season so far, we're on to a 3rd page. Sadly, they're all the drivers that had DNF. Pablo Garcia Castro, Miguel Castaneda. I am right there with the pronunciation. I know that. Miguel Castaneda. It might be that, actually. Castaneda. Pianador. It might be Pianador, actually, now that I'm reading that. He finishes 22nd. Rodrigo Sergio finishes 23rd. James Montgomery, 24th. Simone Donchi, 25th. And Hervé St. Orens finishes in 26th. We're not done with the broadcast just yet. We will go through and look at all the potential things that have happened. If any of the drivers are in chat, or anyone who knows way more than I do when it comes to the timer, please explain. I am very confused. I genuinely could have sworn that the session does not trigger a white flag until the time expires. I would have to look back. In fact, let's see if I can actually look back. I should be able to look back here throughout the broadcast. 7, 6, 5. Oh, I see. That's why it triggered the checkered flag. They would not have made it in time. I was very incorrect. Whoops. So they did make it to 0 in time. I just wasn't paying attention. That's unfortunate. Well, that happens. We'll take a look back and see. 1 lap to green, start hitting flat. Wait, whoa. I mean, 1 lap to green. Session cooldown, session checkered. Yeah, that's something I was not expecting. I'm usually, I do wish it triggered a white flag. Anyway, we'll see if we can get to the final. Maybe it was this. It was this. All right, let's run this back the old-fashioned way. And let's see what happened here. Let's go to the blimp, because I don't... Oh, maybe not the blimp. Was there contact? Let's run the gearbox here. Ah, that's why Ian gave up the position. I see. Very great car control, though, by Jack Veazey to stay with that. And we round board. Ian Joyner does go, and then right here he decides to let off and give the spot back, which is very, very commendable. I think both Joyner and Jack would not have minded as much until the checkered started waving. I think Ian still would have given back to the position, but because the checkered flag waved, he definitely figured, all right, I'll just give it back right now rather than waiting a whole lap. So very, very, very commendable by Ian Joyner. Great sportsmanship. That is still thrown off by that, but the time did expire in time for that. So let's see if we can go back through and so what happened to a couple of drivers here throughout the session. So we can find the letter H. Pit stop on lap 1. Oh, this was lap 1 for St. Orens. So what happened to... I don't think it's even going to go back to the session. Ah, there we go. Well, that's a default TBO transition, but it works. So what happened to St. Orens? I might have seen it in passing on the start in the background, and I might have just missed it. Lost traction a little bit. He's fine. This could be the black and red car on the left-hand side here at the where the blue car is. Was there somebody parked there? Hold on a second. little bit of old-fashioned rewind. Oh, there was someone. Wow. A lot happened on lap 1, apparently. We'll get to that in a moment. Was there... something that happened with, say, orange? Oh, yeah, there it is. There it is. Oh, that's heartbreaking. Oh, that's very painful. That, I see exactly what happened here. Let's ride on board. Transition plus the grass. Yikes. So there was that crash. There was somebody who's sitting... Oh, it was Simone Donchi. Oh, Donchi, that's... Or Simone... I think it's Donchi. That's how it's pronounced. But that's who's sitting under the bridge there. What had happened to... Did we catch that and I just missed it? Oh, no. Alright. I remember earlier I mentioned something about a hardware failure. No. This is a hardware failure. Watch for the front right tire. It's going to be both front tires. Right here when they're clear. Hard left. That is the sign of absolute pain right there. I have had that happen once before. I haven't had it randomly happen, but I have had that happen, and it's going to be even more visible on board here. So, for anyone who's wondering what happened there, basically, if you lose connection there, if your steering wheel loses connection, it will effectively, iRacing defaults you to a hard left position. And depending, I think, maybe, depending at least from my experience at least, depending on your pedals, it will also lock the throttle and brakes. So they basically either go like half or full, I think, for both pedals because they're not detecting input anymore. And that's nothing that iRacing can effectively do about that. It can only do so much if it detects a... Maybe somehow, some way, they can code something where if it detects that your steering wheel or an input does that immediately, then maybe somehow it can cause an instant tow. But I don't know how viable that would be or how realistically possible that would be. But if that is possible, I would love to see that. But that is absolutely heartbreaking. We still have a little bit more. Something happened with James Montgomery as well. At some point in the event. Let's see if I can find his name on the list. James Montgomery, lap number 2. Oh dear. Oh my goodness. Wow. Well, we missed quite a lot somehow. That is the 7. I believe that's the number 7. Something had happened here. That is for sure. 17, actually. That is Jacobo Paz. Let's run this through slow motion for a second. Paz, does he lose traction? Oh, I think I see what happens. He might have overestimated the speed of the car in front. And then Montgomery gets involved. I don't think that would be DNF worth. That's what happened. How did I miss that on the timing screen? So a lot of contact made back and forth like a pinball. 26 of St. Pierre is also collected in that. Again, I say heartbreaking. Just absolutely heartbreaking. Rodrigo Sergio, who we saw, had a not fun incident, slid off the track. Actually, that was it definitely was not the crash. It was this one right here. The inadvertent contact with the 23 that pretty much ended the day of the number 13. And then I believe that might be... I say that might be it for DNS. We still have 2 more. Miguel Pianador, I believe in the number 18. Lap number 8. Oh my goodness. My oh my, what has happened here? Well, that is the 10 of Antonio Emazuka. Was it? Oh wow! Oh dear. Well, that's gonna be ooh, that's not a good look for either of them. let's run this back. Again, this is why I say I'm not a steward. But let's ride on board the 10 real quick. Let's analyze this. Okay, so I get going for the position at least. That makes sense. But sometimes you just have to sit back and wait. But the move to like, it's one thing. This is just a racing deal. The door is open. Granted, it is the line, but also have to assume that the driver in front is going to be taking that line, which is pretty understandable. But then we have the 18 moving across to show displeasure, which that just has absolutely no place. And then inadvertently, the 10 loses traction on the gas, and apparently they got stuck together. So inadvertently, at least the initial move by the 10, semi-fair game-ish, but just have to remember that there are more laps to gain positions, and then the move from the 18, not the most commendable, I will say. And then something with the 20, I believe the exact same lap, if not this lap. Also might have something happen to him to cause his DNF. I believe we saw part of it. Definitely did see that pass with Castro. In fact, yes, it was. Oh, that's right. Yes, it was this that caused him to go off. It wasn't a hardware failure. He had just gone off. He got bumped, gone off track, and then for one reason or another decided to tow. Let's go listen. He still has inputs. They just decided to tow for one reason or another, so I'm not sure if something in real life had happened at the same time or not, but that is all the DNFs for this event, and my oh my, was this was filled with a bunch of stuff, that's for sure. It was a very exciting event regardless, and definitely enjoyed bringing everyone the broadcast. And next week, we... having to double check because I forget. Oh, it's going to be Road America with the bend layout too. That's actually going to be quite fun. I have not seen the bend layout used very often, so look forward to that next week, in a sense. And I will see you all next time. Thanks to iRacing for providing the iRacing software, of course. Thanks to ATVO for providing the very sometimes daunting software to bring all the fancy timing towers and all of that. OBS being the software to bring you this event. Of course, YouTube being, well, YouTube. And thanks to all the drivers that are maybe partially sometimes having to put up with me being in the booth. Don't worry, there's still 8 more weeks left. Hopefully everyone's having fun though, and I'm glad. Hopefully next week, wink wink nudge nudge, that we might be able to maybe get some post-race interviews. Hopefully. No promises. I know I said that last week, but I'll see if we can somehow work something out with the community managers for next week, and see if I can convince them into giving me at least a Discord role of some sort for broadcast. That would actually be quite fun. And showcase all the drivers that spend their time driving in very weird configurations sometimes for 30 minutes just for fun at the end of the day, more than likely. So, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next week at Road America.